Hello coaches, this week we're talking about building out in a back three. As usual, if you enjoy the work, please give it a like and a subscribe below so you don't miss any more videos. And also, if you enjoy the work and you want to read a little bit more about session design and get some ideas for how to take this information and this theory and put it on the pitch with your team, new ebook out now, 20 attack and training sessions, all principle based, so you can use it within any system. Sessions on build up, sessions on midfield progression, and then sessions on attacking in the final third. 3 exercises per session, 60 exercises total. Link is below to get your copy. All right, building in a back three, here we go. So I think before we start, important question to ask yourself is, what are the benefits of building out a back three? And there are quite a few. And I think the first one, most important, is that it gives you an initial overload. If they're pressing with a 9 or they're pressing with a front 2, you've got 3 defenders that can get you out of that initial build and progress the ball easier than other systems, potentially. Second of all, you've got the ability to manipulate those wide fullbacks in the build. And by that I mean you can put them in higher spots, so you can move them low, you can put them higher, but you can also then manipulate the spaces and the opposition, the fullbacks or whoever it is that those responsibility of those wing backs. So you can have a lot of options in those wide areas. You can also get your attackers higher up the pitch and occupy spaces around opposition centre backs, holding midfielders, give the opponents different types of challenges and how they're going to manage that there. And then finally is, if you do lose possession higher up the pitch, you've got a structure underneath the ball that can counter press or that can prevent counter attacks. And that can be quite appealing for a coach because you're not going to score from every build. So having a structure underneath to prevent the opponents from scoring in transition becomes quite important. This is how those advantages would look. In a build with 3, you have that initial organisation, you can push those wing backs forward, and then you have that space to get attackers higher up the pitch, potential overloads, and if the ball is lost, there's your structure in transition that you have to manage counter-attacks. Now the challenge with building in a back 3 and the difference between building in a back 4 and why it's potentially tricky to build in a back 3 is because the symmetrical nature of a back 4 and 2 centre-back split, 2 full-backs high, it's easier to organise, whereas in a back 3, you don't really have that fluid starting spot. So how you manipulate and manage your 3 defenders in the build is A, very, very important. B is quite tricky, but C gives you an awful lot of flexibility in terms of presenting issues, challenges, problems to the opposition. So we're going to look at 4 different solutions that you can build and manage your build up with a back 3. So for this example, we're going to work in a back 3, 3-5-2 against the diamond 4-4-2. Those 2 strikers are going to try and press. The 2 wide defenders are going to split across. The central defender is going to drop in alongside the goalkeeper. So with a 4-4-2 press, they'll typically look at starting inside and then they'll look at their diamond looking after the 2 holders for us. So this is what I would do in this one. Drop the left side centre back low. A diagonal pass. Now there is an element of risk here. A diagonal pass gets you out. But what this creates now is freedom and space in terms of passing lanes. The left centre back can carry. The wing back drops, so opens up a passing lane. And now you have a potential 3v3 higher up the pitch. Can look for runs in and around there. Get you into the final third with an overload and a box cross and a finish. The next one, we'll look at the exact same structure. This time, we're going to move 2 defenders across. So you're overloading now one side of the pitch. And we'll do 2 different variations of this. Now this creates overload on one side. And that overload asks a question of how the opponents are going to press. And in a diamond 4-4-2, if the outside player steps, it opens up space for one of your 6s to drop the ball in. Again, that creates space higher up the pitch and gives you a potential overload with an open passing lane. In this situation, we'll look at not just solving it with a forward pass, but we're going to look at the switch because invariably the opponents would shift across. Space on the far side for the wing back. Again, you've got numbers forward, numbers in those gates for runners to go through. box cross again, opportunity, numbers in the box, and a goal. Now the exact same setup has a different type of solution to it. So you again move 2 defenders over to one side, but instead of using the overload for this one, we're actually going to look at the solutions and possibilities on the other side. So play it to the defender on their own. Wing back will drop short. What does that create? Again, it invites pressure, and if the passing angles are right, you can again up, back and through into a forward. And again, you can get those numbers in and in front of the back four, and then you can get numbers behind to manipulate that space and create an opportunity on goal. Same starting spots, but we're going to move the middle defender into a higher line. So the 2 right side and left side split. And now, what does that create higher up the pitch? Well, now you can put your wing backs higher, and you've occupied all 4 of the opposition defenders. So the opponents will have to adjust. Let's just say they don't, and they press the way they have been doing. It gives you a direct pass into the forward line, and again allows you support underneath, where by splitting the forwards, the number 6 on the opposition has a decision to make. If they stay marking the attacking midfielder, their space opens up. If they drop in to the space that the centre backs have vacated, it leaves space for the number 10 to receive. Again, you've got numbers higher up the pitch. The opposition defenders will typically get tighter and compact to prevent that space. It's going to create space in front of that back four, and there's a passing lane where you've got numbers up and an opportunity on goal. So there you have it, 4 different builds manipulating the position of those 3 defenders in different areas. Again, similar to what we looked at with an earlier video that we did a couple of weeks ago on build-up. If I was coaching this here tomorrow, I wouldn't have too many goals at the halfway line. I would have a bigger pitch and allow the space higher up to be part of the session, because you want to paint those pictures. That's what you actually are looking to do. That's the objective of build-up play. It's not to get to the halfway line. It's to create opportunities and spaces in front of back fours, behind back fours, in and around back fours. So allow players to experience those pictures. And maybe you make the pitch narrower and challenge people with their spacing through that there. I would do that than rather making a pitch shorter, and then allowing players to experience that there, getting some feedback on that there, looking at the type of players you have, and that can also lead to different types of solutions, longer passes maybe, midfield combinations maybe. There's a ton of different ideas that you can work off with this platform. All right, great stuff, back 3. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe below and also give the video a like. And then if you want to move towards looking at some session ideas with the work we've done on Modern Soccer Coach, check out the new ebook, 20 attacking training sessions, all principle based. You can look at build-up play, midfield progression, and scoring and creating opportunities in the final third. Thanks so much. See you next week.